Bandeyam Shri Guru Shiyatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitamscha Om Ajnana Timranda Shagyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bistam Supurikam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govinda Bidam Ujvalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Vande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Nawe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishwara Shridaram Vanshakaupatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. We're reading from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is the Madhya-lila, chapter 18, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Vrindaban. Vrindabane stiracharan nandayan svavalokanai atmanam cha tadalokad goranga bharito brahmat Vrindabane stiracharan nandayan Svavalokanai Atmanam Tad Alokad Goranga Parito Brahmat. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all over Vrindaban and pleased all living entities, moving and non-moving, with his glances. The Lord took much personal pleasure in seeing everyone. In this way, Lord Gauranga traveled in Vrindaban. Jaya Jaya Gora Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas Thakur. E Mata Mahaprabhu Nachite Nachite Arit Grame Ashi Baya Hoila Achambite. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in ecstasy, but when he arrived at Aritgram, his sense perception was awakened. Arite Radha Kunda Varta Puche Lokastane Kehonahe Kahe Sangera Brahmananajane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the local people, "Where is Radha Kund?" No one could inform him, and the Brahman accompanying him did not know either. Tirtha Lupta Jani Prabhu Sarvagya Bhagavan Duidanye Ketre Alpajale Shailad Snan. The Lord then understood that the holy place called Radha Kund was no longer visible. However, being the omniscient Supreme Personality of Godhead, he discovered Radha Kund and Shamakund in two paddy fields. There was only a little water, but he took his bath there. Dekisab Gramya Loker Vishmoy Hoilaman Premi Prabhu Kore Radha Kundera Stavan. When the people of the village saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking his bath in those two ponds in the middle of the paddy fields, they were very much astonished. The Lord then offered his prayers to Radha Kund. Sabagopi hoite Radha Krishnera Prayasi Taiche Radha Kunda Priya Priyara Sarasi. Of all the gopis, Radharani is the dearmost. Similarly, the lake known as Radhakunda is very dear to the Lord because it is very dear to Srimati Radharani. Yata Radha Priyas Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Data Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Lord Krishna, so her lake, known as Radha Kunda, is also very dear to him. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most beloved. Jekunde Nitya Krishna Radhikara Sange Jali Jala Keli Kare Tire Rasarange Jekunde Nitya Krishna Radhikara Sange Jali Jal Keli Kore Tire Rasarange. In that lake, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani used to sport daily in the water and have a rasa dance on the bank. Sekunde Jail Ekbara Kore Snan Tare Radha Sama Prema Krishna Koridan. Indeed, Lord Krishna gives ecstatic love in the line of Srimati Radharani to whoever bathes in that lake even once in his life. Here it says, the Lord Krishna gives ecstatic love like that of Srimati Radharani to whoever bathes in that lake even once in his life. It means that one who takes some of that water, puts it on one's head, then one will be able to come to the point of engaging in devotional service as a servant of Srimati Radharani. Kundera Madhuri Jena Radhara Madhuri Ma Kundera Mahima Jena Radhara Mahima. The attraction of Radha Kund is as sweet as that of Srimati Radharani. Similarly, the glories of the Kund are as great as Srimati Radharani's. Shri Radheva Harishtadya Sarasi Prishtad Bhutai Svargunar Yashyam Shri Yuta Madhavendur Anisham Pritya Taya Kridati Premasmin Bata Radhikeva Labate Yashyam Sakrit Snanakrit Tashyavai Mahima Tata Madhurima Kenastu Varnya Shito. Because of its wonderful transcendental qualities, Radha Kunda is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. It was in that lake that the all-opulent Lord Shri Krishna performed his pastimes with Srimati Radharani with great pleasure and transcendental bliss. Whoever bathes just once in Radha Kunda attains an attraction for Srimati Radharani's love for Shri Krishna. Who within this world can describe the glories and sweetness of Shri Radha Kunda? Because of its wonderful transcendental qualities, Radha Kunda is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. It was in that lake that the all-opulent Lord Shri Krishna performed his pastimes with Srimati Radharani with great pleasure and transcendental bliss. Whoever bathes just once in Radha Kunda attains Srimati Radharani's loving attraction for Shri Krishna. Who within this world can describe the glories and sweetness of Shri Radha Kunda? All right, then I will take it to mean that that person will be able to appreciate Radha Kunda as being non-different from Srimati Radharani, and will be able to worship that divine Kunda in Srimati Radharani. E mata stuti kore prema vishta hoya Tirinritya Kore Kunda Lila Sanariya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus offered prayers to Radha Kunda. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love, he danced on the bank, remembering the pastimes of Lord Krishna performed on the bank of Radha Kunda. Kundaram Ritika Laya Tilaka Korila Bhattacharya Dwaram Ritika Sange Kori Loila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then marked his body with tilak made from the mud of Radha Kunda and with the help of Balabhadra Bhattacharya, collected some of the mud and took it with him. Tabe chali aila Prabhus, Sumana Sarovara, Tahan Gan, Govardhana Deki Hoila Bivala. From Radha Kunda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sumana's lake. When he saw Govardhan hill from there, he was overwhelmed with joy. Govardhana Deki Prabhu Hoila Dandabat, Ekshila Lingia Hoila Unmat. When the Lord saw Govardhan hill, he immediately offered obeisances, falling down on the ground like a rod. He embraced one piece of rock from Govardhan hill and became mad. He embraced one Shila. Shila is a stone from the Govardhan hill, and he became mad. Preme Mata Chaliaila Govardhana Gram. Harideva Dekitahan Hoila Pranam. Mad with ecstatic love, the Lord came to the village known as Govardhan. There he saw the deity named Harideva and offered his obeisances unto him. Mathura Padmara Paschima Dali Jarabas Harideva Narayana Adi Parakas. Haridev is an incarnation of Narayan, and his residence is on the western petal of the lotus of Mathura. Harideva Agenache Premi Matahaya Sablok Dekite Aila Ascharya Shunya. Mad with ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to dance before the Harideva deity. Hearing of the Lord's wonderful activities, all the people came to see him. Prabhu Prema Sondarya Deki Loke Chamatkar Haridever Britya Prabhur Korila Satkar. The people were astonished when they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love and personal beauty. The priest who served the Harideva deity offered the Lord a good reception. Bhattacharya Brahmakunde Pak Janakoila Brahmakunde Snanakore Prabhu Bhikka Koila. At Brahmakunda, the Bhattacharya cooked food, and the Lord, after excuse me. At Brahmakunda, the Bhattacharya cooked food, and the Lord, after taking his bath at Brahmakunda, accepted his lunch. Shri Ratre Rohila Haridever Mandire Ratre Mahaprabhu Kore Manete Vichare. That night the Lord stayed at the temple of Harideva, and during the night he began to reflect. Govardhan Upariyami Kabuna Chadiva Gopala Rayara Darshan Kemone Paiba. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, since I shall not at any time climb Govardhan hill, how shall I be able to have darshan of Gopal Rai, the deity? Etamane kore Prabhu, mona kore rohila, janiya Gopala kichu, bangi utaila. Thinking this way, the Lord remained silent, and Sri Gopal, knowing his contemplation, played a trick. Anururukshabe shailam, swasmai bhakta bimanine, avaruya gire Krishna goraya swam adarshayat. Coming down from Govardhan hill, Lord Gopal granted an interview to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was unwilling to climb the hill, thinking himself a devotee of Lord Krishna. Anakuta name grame gopalera stiti, rajaputa lokera se grame varsati. Gopal stayed in the village called Anakut Gram on Govardhan hill. The villagers who lived in that village were mainly from Rajasthan. Ekjana asiratre gramike bolila tomara gramam marite tarukadore sajila. One person who came to the village informed the inhabitants, the Turkish soldiers are now preparing to attack your village. Ajiratre pralahana rohiha ekjan takurloya baga ashibe kali javan. Flee this village tonight and do not allow one person to remain. Take the deity with you and leave, for the Muslim soldiers will come tomorrow. Shunya gramera lok chintita hoila pratame gopala loya gantuli grame koila. Hearing this, all the villagers became very anxious. They first took Gopal and moved him to a village known as Gantuli. Vipragrihe Gopalera Nibrete Sevan Grama Ujjada Hoila Palaila Sarvajan. The Gopal deity was kept in the house of a Brahmin, and his worship was conducted secretly. Everyone fled, and thus the village of Anakut was deserted. Aiche Malecha Baye Gopala Bhage Bare Bare Mandira Chadi Kunje Rohe Kiba Gramantare. Due to fear of the Muslims, the Gopal deity was moved from one place to another again and again, thus giving up his temple. Lord Gopal would sometimes live in a bush and sometimes in one village after another. Pratikali Prabhu Manasa Ganga Korin Snan Govardhana Parikram Ayag Korila Prayan. In the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his bath in a lake called Manasa Ganga. He then circumambulated Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Deki Prabhu Premavista Haya Nachite Chalila Shlokapadya. Just by seeing Govardhan Hill, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic with love of Krishna. While dancing and dancing, he recited the following verse. Hantayam Adrir Abala Haridasha Varyo Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramoda Manam Danoti Sahago Ganayos Tayoryat Paniya Suyabasa Kandara Kandamulai. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram, as well as their calves, cows, and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities: water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respect to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. Govinda Kundadi Tirte Prabhu Koilasnan Tahan Shunila Gopala Gela Gantuligram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then took his bath in a lake called Govinda Kund, and while he was there, he heard that the Gopal deity had already gone to Gantuligram. Se grame giya koila Gopala darshan Premaveshe Prabhu Kore Kirtana Nartan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to the village of Gantuligram and saw the Lord Gopal deity. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love, he began to chant and dance. Gopalera Sondarya Deki Prabhu Ravesh Shri Shlokapadi Nache Hoila Dina Sesh. As soon as the Lord saw the beauty of the Gopal deity, he was immediately overwhelmed by ecstatic love, and he recited the following verse. He then chanted and danced until the day ended. Vamas Tamarasakshayas Vamas Tamarasak Shasya Bhuja Danda Sapatuva Krida Kandu Katam Jena Nito Govardhano Giri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, May the left arm of Sri Krishna, whose eyes are like the petals of a lotus flower, always protect you. With his left arm, he raised Govardhan hill as if it were a toy. E mata tindin gopale dekila, chaturta divase gopal, samandire gela. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Gopal deity for 3 days. On the 4th day, the deity returned to his own temple. Gopala Sange Chali Aila Nritya Gita Kori Ananda Kola Hale Log Bole Hari Hari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked with the deity of Gopal and he chanted and danced. A large and jubilant crowd of people also chanted the transcendental name of Krishna. Hari Hari. Gopala Mandire Gela Prabhu Rahila Tale Prabhu Ravancha Purna Sabkorila Gopale. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his own temple in The Gopal deity then returned to his own temple and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained at the bottom of the hill. Thus all the desires of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were satisfied by the Gopal deity. Emate Gopalera Karuna Swabhav Jai Bhakta Janardakite Hoyabhav. This is the way of Lord Gopal's kind behavior to his devotees. Seeing this, the devotees were overwhelmed by ecstatic love. Dekite utkanta hoy nachare govardhane kana chale gopala ashe utare apane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very eager to see Gopal, but he did not want to climb Govardhan hill. Therefore, by some trick, the Gopal deity personally descended. Kabu kunje rohe kabu rohe gramantare se bhakta tahanashi dekaye tahare. In this way, giving some excuse, Gopal sometimes remains in the bushes of the forest and sometimes he stays in the village. One who is a devotee comes to see the deity. Parvate na chade dui rupa sanatan e rupe tas sabare diachena darshan. The two brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, did not climb the hill. To them also Lord Gopal granted an interview. Brida Kale Rupa Gosai Napare Jaite Vansha Hoila Gopalera Sundarya Dekite. In ripe old age, Srila Rupa Goswami could not go there, but he had a desire to see the beauty of Gopal. Mulecha Baye Aila Gopala Mathura Nagare Ekmas Rohila Vitoleshwara Gare. Due to fear of the Muslims, Gopal went to Mathura, where he remained in the house of Vitoleshwara for 1 full month. So because people had fear of the Muslims, they moved Gopal to Mathura, where he remained in the house of Vitoleshwara for 1 full month. Tabe Rupa Gosai Sab Nija Ganaloya Ekmash Darshana Koila Mathuraya Rohiya. Srila Rupa Goswami and his associates stayed in Mathura for 1 month and saw the Gopal deity. Sange Gopalabhata Dasha Raghunatha Bhatta Gosai Aral Lokanath. While Rupa Goswami stayed at Mathura, he was accompanied by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Lokanath Das. When Rupa Goswami stayed at Mathura, he was accompanied by Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Lokanath Das Goswami. Bhagarbha Gosayara, Sri Jiva Gosai, Sri Yadavacharya Ara Govinda Gosai, Bhugarbha Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Yadavacharya, and Govinda Goswami also accompanied Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Uddhavadas Ara Madhava Duijan, Sri Gopala Dasha Ara Dasha Narayan. He was also accompanied by Sri Uddhavadas, Madhava, Sri Gopal Das, and Narayan Das. Govinda Bhakta Arabani Krishnadas, Pundarikaksha Ishan Ara Lagu Haridas. The great devotee Govinda, Vani Krishnadas, Pundarikaksha, Ishan, and Lagu Haridas also accompanied him. Esab Mukhya Bhakta Loya Nija Sange, Sri Gopala Darshana Koila Bahurange. It was with great jubilation that Rupa Goswami visited Lord Gopal, accompanied by all these devotees. Ekmash Rohi Gopan Gela Nijastane, Shri Rupa Gosayila Shri Vrindavane. After staying at Mathura for 1 month, the Gopal deity returned to his own place, and Rupa Goswami returned to Vrindaban. Prastave Kohilun Gopal Kripara Akyan Tabe Mahaprabhu Gela Shri Kamyavan. In the course of this story, I have given a description of Lord Gopal's mercy. After seeing the Gopal deity, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sri Kamyavan. Prabhura Gamana Riti Purvijay Prabhur Gamana Riti Purvijay Lakila Semata Vrindavane Tavat Dekila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's touring Vrindavan has been previously described. In the same ecstatic way, he traveled all over Vrindavan. Tahan Lila Stali Deki Gela Nandishwar Nandishwara Deki Preme Hoila Viva. After visiting the places of Krishna's pastimes at Kamyavan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Nandishwara. While there, he was overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Pavanadi Sab Kunde Snana Korea Lokere Puchila Parvat Upare Jaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed in all the celebrated lakes, beginning with Lake Pavana. Thereafter, he climbed a hill and spoke to the people. Kichudeva Murti Hoy Parvata Upare Lokohe Murti Hoy Gofara Bitare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Are there any deities on top of this hill?" The local people replied, "There are deities on this hill, but they are located within a cave." Duidike Mata Pita Pushta Kolebar Madhye Ek Sishu Hoy Tribanga Sundar. There are a father and mother with well-built bodies, and between them is a very beautiful child who is curved in 3 places. Shuni Mahaprabhu Mani Ananda Paya Teen Murti Dekila Se Gofa Udgadiya. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. After excavating the cave, he saw the 3 deities. Brajendra Brajeshwara Koila Charana Bandhan Premaveshe Krishnera Koilas Sarvanga Sparshan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his respects to Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda and with great ecstatic love he touched the body of Lord Krishna. Sabdin Premaveshe Nritya Gita Koila Tahan Hoite Mahaprabhu Kandira Bana Aila. Every day the Lord chanted and danced in ecstatic love. Finally he went to Kadiravan. Aila Lila Stala Deki Tahan Gela Seshayi Lakmi Deki E Shlok Parina Gosai. After seeing the places of Lord Krishna's pastimes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Seshayi, where he saw Lakshmi and recited the following verse. Yatte sujata charanam buruham staneshu bita shanai priya darimahi karkasheshu tena tavim atasi tad vyatate nakim sweet kurpadi bir brahmyati dir bhavad ayusham naha. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Tabe Kela Tirtadeki Mandiravan Aila Jamuna Para Haya Bhadraban Gela. Afterwards, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Kela Tirtha and then went to Bandiravan. After crossing the Jamuna River, he went to Bhadravan. Shrivan Deki Puna Gela Lokavan Mahavan Giya Koila Janmastan Darshan. Shrivana Deki Puna Gela Lokavan Mahavan Giya Koila Janmastan Darshan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited Srivas and Lokavan. He then went to Matavan and called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then visited Srivan and Lohavan. He then went to Mahavan and saw Gokula, the place of Lord Krishna's early childhood pastimes. Jamula Arjuna Bhangari Dekila Sestal Premaveshe Prabhurmana Hoila Talamal. Upon seeing the place where the twin Arjuna trees had been broken by Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was moved to great ecstatic love. Gokula Dekila Aila Maturanagare Janmastal Deki Rohe Se Bipragare. After seeing Gokula, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived in Mathura, where he saw the birthplace of the Lord. While there, he stayed at the house of the Sanudiya Brahmin. Lokera Sangata Deki Mathura Chadiya Ekante Udara Tirte Rohila Asiya. Seeing a great crowd assembled at Mathura, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left and went to Akrura Tirtha. He remained there in a solitary place. Aradinaila Prabhu Dekite Vrindaban Kaliya Radhe Snan Koila Mara Prakananda. Aradin Aila Prabhu Dekite Vrindavan Kaliya Radhe Snana Koila Ara Praskandan. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindaban and took his bath at Kalia Lake in Praskadan. Dwarasha Aditya Hoite Keli Tirte Aila Rasastali Deki Preme Murchita Hoila. After seeing the holy place called Praskandan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Dwarashaditya. From there he went to Keshi Tirtha, and when he saw the place where the rasa dance had taken place, he immediately lost consciousness due to ecstatic love. Chaitanya Paya Puna Garagadi Jai Hase Kande Nache Pade Uchai Swaragai. While the Lord regained his senses, he began to roll on the ground. He would sometimes laugh, cry, dance, and fall down. He would also chant very loudly. Ekrange se din Tata Gonaila Sandhya Kwale Akrore Ashe Bika Nivahila. When the Lord regained his senses, he began to fall on the ground. When the Lord regained his senses, he began to roll on the ground. He would sometimes laugh, cry, dance, and fall down. He would also chant very loudly. Erange Sedin Tata Gonaila Sandhyakale Akrore Ashe Bika Nirvahila. Being thus transcendently amused, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed that day happily at Keshi Tirtha. In the evening, he returned to Akrura Tirtha, where he took his meal. Prate Vrindavane Koila Chira Gate Snan Tintuli Talate Ashi Korila Vishram. The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Vrindaban and took his bath at Chiragat. He then visited Tentuli Tala, where he took rest. Krishna Lila Kalera Se Brika Puratan Taratale Pindi Banda Paramo Chikan. The tamarind tree named Tentulitala was very old, having been there since the time of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Beneath the tree was a very shiny platform. Nikate Jamuna Bahe Shitala Amir. Nikate Jamuna Bahe Shitala Samir Vrindavana Shobha Deke Jamunara Nir. Since the river Jamuna flowed near Tentulitala, a very cool breeze blew there. While there, the Lord saw the beauty of Vrindaban and the water of the river Jamuna. Tentulatale Bashe Kore Nama Sankirtan Madhyana Koreyashi Kore Akrure Bojan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to sit beneath the old tamarind tree and chant the holy name of the Lord. At noon, he would return to Akrura Tirtha to take lunch. Akrura Loke Aishe Prabhure Dekite Loka Bide Swachande Nore Kirtana Karite Akrurera Loka Aishe Prabhure Dekite Loka Bide Swachande Nare Kirtana Korite. All the people who lived near Akrura Tirtha came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and due to the large crowds, the Lord could not peacefully chant the holy name. Vrindavane Aishe Prabhu Basya Ekanta Nama Sankirtana Kori Madhyana Parjanta. Thereafter, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindaban and sit in a solitary place where he would chant the holy name until noon. All the people who lived near Krura Tirtha came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and due to the large crowds, the Lord could not peacefully chant the holy name. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindaban and sit in a solitary place where he would chant the holy name until noon. Tritiya Prabhare Lok Praya Darshan Sabare Upadesh Kore Nama Sankirtan. In the afternoon, people were able to speak to him. The Lord told everyone of the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Henakali Aila Vaishnava Krishnadas Nam Rajaputa Jati Grihasta Jamunara Parigram. During this time, a Vaishnava named Krishnadas came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a householder and belonged to the Kshatriya caste, and his house was located on the other side of the Jamuna. So I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaoite Vignana Shavista Puran Jaoite Vignana Shavista Puran H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradas H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Tasabar Para Renu Mora Panchagras Tasabar Para Renu Mora Panchagras Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More Abhilas Janame More Abhilas H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyash Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Puriya Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Puriya Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Puriya Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Hari Nam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhariju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtatara Sada Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ashtatara Sada Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Vrindaban Das Thakur Ki Jai Sri Chaitanya Bhagvat Ki Jai Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai Vishwavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai Shri Dham Mayapur Ki Jai Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Shri Koladvip Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai Ganga Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Vrindaban Dham Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Shri Kartik Brata Ki Jai Shri Damodar Brata Ki Jai Shri Niyama Seva Ki Jai Shri Urja Vrata ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.